Hello, and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. So today we are going to be talking about the Fletcher's interview with Crystal XO. And shout out to her. She did what she was supposed to do in this interview, which is gas the Fletchers up um, and make them seem like they're the older couple on the show that has everything together that kind of keeps everybody in line on the show. So, of course, she welcomed them and thanked them for doing the interview. She said she had been wanting to do this interview for a long time. So, now let's get into it. So, the host asked the Fletchers about a lasting experience they have taken from being on the show. Like all of her questions was kind of like three-part answers. She kind of like ran her questions together. Um, so taken from being on the show, was it getting used to being on television? What has been the biggest change in your life since joining the show? So that was her question. So Chris responded that he doesn't think that there has been a huge change, except maybe going places and people recognizing who they are. He went on to say, we came in with the Fletcher experience, and that's what we live by. Everything has been clicking for them, and they are happy and being their authentic selves and playing the part. I call bullshit. First and foremost, the Fletchers were invited to be on the show early on and they turned down the opportunity. And in my opinion, that was because they didn't want their skeletons to come out of the closet. But then they were bit by the fame bug and had a change of heart and decided to come on the show because Chris's daughter Lexi said that they had been wanting to be on a reality TV show for quite some time. And it was all good in the beginning. They were enjoying the spotlight. Nail was loving being transformed into a fashion diva, and I have to give it to her. On the show, she was looking really nice, and even at the reunions, she came to slay. So I do give her credit for that. But then that started to quickly change after the family dinner scene aired with the entire family. So Chris and his daughter Lexi got into a verbal altercation and she left so upset and angry that she said that she was done with Chris and all the Fletchers. So about maybe 3 months ago, Lexi did an interview with Giving You the Real Tea and talked about how she felt like Nell interfered with the relationship, of her and her dad and that they barely, well, she said that they never spent any time alone. Nell was always there. She made sure that she was there so that they didn't have any alone time. So she was just always around. And so trying to keep up with my notes here. So during the interview when Lexi did the interview with Giving You the Real Tea, she started out by herself, but her mom just happened to be there at the time of the interview. So she did join them in the interview because Giving You the Real Tea had said that he got a lot of comments, with people requesting that, her mom be there and that they had some questions for the mom. So when she told them that her mom was there, you know, they invited her to come on to the interview as well. Hey, Lady B. So she joined them for the interview. And basically, Lexi's mom said that Chris was an habitual cheater and that he cheated on her with multiple women, and that at the time, Nell was one of his side chicks, and Nell got pregnant while she was still married to Chris. So that's what Lexi's mom said, allegedly. So those are her words, not mine. So now on the show, since Lexi came out and kind of exposed their tea and talked about the family and how they're kind of like clout chasers and very materialistic and just always give the vibe of wanting to keep up with the Joneses. Now, they don't seem as happy on the show as when they first started out. So now they seem to be just as stressed out as everyone else on the show, with the exception of Mel, because all of their dirty laundry has been put on Front Street when they wanted everybody to believe that they were better than the other cast members and kind of older, mature. They had been married for 30 years. So that's what they were bringing to the table. So back to the interview. And if some of the words sound a little weird, I mean, it's just how Nell speaks. You can tell she's not very good at doing interviews or just public speaking. She's like a Martell in the Melody and Martell situation, where Melody pretty much did all of the public speaking and he was just there. So Nell is getting better. I'll give her that. Hey, Mama B. But she still has a little issue with doing interviews. So again, back to the interview. So I'm going to have to disagree with the host, because she then said that the Fletchers in the cast is being their authentic selves, and that's why the fans on the show resonate with them. Again, I call bullshit. And by the way, the title of this video is "The Lie Detector Said That." That was a lie, because there were a lot of lies and untruths told in this interview. So, other than Mel, no one on this show has an authentic storyline. They are all faking storylines to look good on TV. And if this show is not canceled soon, they are all going to leave the show with more mugshots and debt than they started the show with. They are all accumulating a huge amount of debt that more than likely they will not be able to pay if this show comes to an end. So she then went on to say that, you were friends with the cast, speaking of, Nell and Chris, and they held the cast members accountable for their actions. And she then went on to say Chris, with his relationship Martell, and he seemed to be one of the guys that held him accountable as well. Bullshit. She then asked what was the relationship like with Mel and Martell prior to joining the show. And Chris responded that they have always had the brother sister type of relationship. And when they got into those deep conversations about their lives, they have to be true to them and honest in their opinion and transparent on what's going on with them. It's just that Martell is it's been hard trying to penetrate that mind of his. So this is what Chris had to say. And again, I call bullshit. As a brother slash friend of Martell's, he did not hold him accountable. Chris let him squat in one of the client's home, not paying rent and making excuses why he couldn't move out, until ultimately, I think he lost that client allegedly, and which caused him not to be able to do any future business with this client, which could have been a long-standing relationship and a repeat customer. But ultimately, he let Martell squat, you know, in these people's house, without paying any rent until he felt good and ready to leave the home. Chris also allowed Martell to disrespect his wife by yelling in her face on several occasions without calling him out whenever he did not agree with her opinions or her actions. Like when he found out that she was going to attend Melody's name changing ceremony, he had a problem with that. And so he made sure that she knew that he did not appreciate him going to the name changing ceremony. Like she was supposed to be obligated to him and she was not supposed to attend. He also had another angry outburst while they were in Houston. And instead of them escorting him out until he could act like he had some type of sense, Nell turned it around on Mel and asked her point blank, "Did you cheat on my tail?" Like, it was so high school. This lady has been divorced from this man for years, has changed her last name, and y'all are still living in the past with her psycho ex. Excuse me, let me take a sip. This is not how you hold somebody accountable. Next question, please, Mrs. Interviewer. So she then asked if they were concerned about reality TV affecting their relationship, because that's usually what happens on reality TV. Nell decided to speak up to answer this question, and she was actually a lot of, and she was actually a lot of things they were dealing with, we've already dealt with. When you've been married for 30 years, went through a lot, we've been through a lot already in our marriage. And these are her words. So we are kind of beyond that point. The only thing is reality TV is more to the world, her words. But we are known in a lot of places too. We got family all over and people who know us and how long we've been together, blah, 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 and what they've been through. She jumped in with her male identified as to make sure she was the one to answer this question so that she could pretty it up so that hubby wouldn't look bad. When everyone knows he is a habitual cheater, according to how you got him and what the first wife said in her interview, and what he has continued to do within their marriage. She was rambling so bad, and I'm speaking of Nell. You could barely understand what she was saying, and what you could understand, it didn't really make a lot of sense. And it's obvious that questions about their marriage and infidelity makes her very nervous. It's almost like some things must still be going on that she's not comfortable talking about. And I do feel like they work on their marriage, on a, regular basis, but I mean, you just can't change who a person is, which is why they choose not to call Martell out because he might turn around and expose the infidelities and whatever else that he knows about their marriage. So then Nell, she asked Nell, why does Tisha get so much negative backlash for sticking beside her husband and staying committed to her marriage when that really is the goal in marriage, is to stay together and to make it through good times and bad? Nell responded, I'm not Letitia, so I can't really speak for her. Yes, you can. That's all this cast do is speak on other people's business while completely ignoring what is going on in their lives. Then the interviewer rephrased the question and asked, why do people give her such a hard time? Meaning Tisha. Nell responded that a lot of women think she's in denial, and a lot of women feel that she's naive and that she's not living, allegedly, her words, not mine, in her truth. That's all these things that have been said about Marceau. It's like she's allegedly, again, her words, not mine, swept it under the rug and chooses not to deal with it or see it. But as she say, nothing has been brought to her. She has to stand by her husband. And then Nell said, everybody is not the same when it comes to their relationship. And she had to jump in and say that because, of course, she has stood by Chris with, you know, the fidelities that they have also had in their marriage. And then she mumbled something else, but honestly, I can only understand half of what Nell says because she mumbles and don't speak clearly. So that's that on that. The interviewer wanted to know if they had any hesitation about sharing their family and the blended family dynamic, and have they had any regrets after the dinner scene. Nell put a smile on her face, and then Nell said that she did hesitate, but Chris did not hesitate, and he agreed with Nell. Nell said that she hesitated because she knows she is a firecracker without the cameras, and I can definitely see that. She also said that it was Chris's whole idea of getting on reality TV, not hers. Chris said that he didn't hesitate because they do have a very enriched family dynamic, and he feels like it's very relatable to the world. And he said, no, we didn't have a talk with them, but we probably should have. He said that he didn't have a talk with them because they are all grown and this is reality TV, so there is no need to prep them or tell them, don't say this or don't say that. It's reality TV. Just be yourself. Chris then went on to say the only thing he did say was, don't embarrass my family. Don't embarrass us to the point where we can't come back, where you can't come back. And I feel like that statement was definitely meant for Lexi. And he was letting her know she is no longer welcome at his home. He done moved on and is no longer trying to fix their broken relationship. Chris also said that he had no idea it would turn out the way that it did. Again, I call bullshit. They have a fairly large family and they know there is some dysfunction in their family, especially since it is a blended family, which always brings about some sort of jealousy and one child feeling like the parent loves his other children more than them. So even if Lexi didn't pop off, it could have been drama about something else. They should have prepped their adult children and told them what subjects were off limits, in my opinion. So I believe they wanted something to pop off to get everyone talking about them so that his family could get their own show. That was Mama B said that was disgraceful for him to say that about his daughter. And I totally agree, Mama B's. So yes, I do believe that they wanted something to pop off to get everyone talking about the show or talking about them so that they can get their own reality show. Lexi said Chris has always wanted to be on reality TV, and Nell confirmed it during this interview, saying that it was his idea to get on reality TV. He tried to backtrack and say things happen for a reason. It's his family. They continue to love each other and move forward. After, he basically said that he didn't expect all of that to go on. And, you know, the interviewer asked about Chris Jr. and has things gotten better since the dinner? And they answered yes, he's starting to get it, you know. But they failed to mention his recent appearance on Crime Stoppers and his recent arrest. Chris said that the situation with Lexi was true, authentic, and very transparent. He also said that there was some puff there that was untrue. So basically saying that Lexi was spewing out lies and that there are still at the same point, he still does not speak with her and she chooses not to speak with him and the family. And that's just where it is. And it's probably just going to take some time, is what Chris said. So the interviewer then asked, how do they feel about Martell being arrested and put in jail? Nell said it gets draining and she gets mad at both of them. The interviewer then said, like the fact that she likes the fact that she holds both of them accountable lies. Nell continues to make excuses for her hotel, and no matter how despicable his actions are, she always seemed to sympathize with him and turn it around on Mel. And I just really can't understand that with her having a front row seat to what Mel has been going through over the last 10 years. She claims to get mad at both of them and don't talk to them, but immediately she switched up to Mel and said that she's hard headed too. She's just as hard headed as he is and stubborn. Okay, I thought we were talking about Martell. Like, how did Mel get into this? She lied and said at the time she did not know to what extreme that he had of what he had done. Her words. I'm just trying to read them. And she didn't like the fact that he was arrested, but she didn't have all of the information. Again, I call bullshit. This has all played out on several media outlets. So if we, as viewers and fans of the show, knew exactly what was going on, there is no way in hell this lady can make me believe that she did not know all the facts. Plus, they are close with everybody on the cast. They hang out, they do lunch, they do brunch, they club, they do whatever. So there's no way that she can make me believe that she didn't know that this was going on long before Martell was arrested. And not only that, the whole cast has low key been picking at Mel about the sex tape for a very long time, like seasons ago. Nell don't like don't sit here and try to play in our face. Like we know that you had all of the details of what Martell and his side trash Ariane was trying to do. So just about everything that Nell said in this interview has been lies and half truths. She then the interviewer then asked Chris the same question, and his response was kind of all over the place. Yes, exactly, Mama Bees. They all knew what was going on. They are liars. So when she asked Chris the same question, his response was kind of all over the place. And I don't really even care to repeat it. On one hand, he was saying that he was wrong and he can't tell Mel how to handle the situation. But on the other hand, there was a lot of fluff, like he was still sympathizing with Martell. So it is what it is. So the interviewer then asked them to give advice on marriage and the secret to being married as long as they have. And at that point, she lost me because, in my opinion, they are not qualified to give marriage advice. So at that point, I kind of tuned out on that subject. But she then asked, what can we look forward to seeing from them in the upcoming episodes? And Chris hit back like he always does with, you will just have to continue to watch, blah, 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 to see, what's going on. Hey, kicking it with Courtney. And then, she did go on to compliment Mel on her glow up. And I do have to admit, um, Nell has gotten better with her wigs, with her outfits and things like that. So she is starting to look like the part, being on reality TV. So then the interviewer backtracked and asked Nell, did she think that girl code was violated when Sunny dated Destiny's ex? And Nell said, yes, she does. And it was like she really didn't want to say that, you know, for obvious reasons, um, because it makes everyone side eye her because she was a side chick at one point. When she got with Chris, he was already married. Okay. And she ended up getting pregnant while this man was still married to his first wife. And what I can't understand is how can Destiny, the person who was a side chick for 15 years, get mad at someone for stealing her man? If that's even what happened, because I'm still not clear on that. Picking it with Courtney said she stopped letting Chris outshine her. She definitely did. But you know what? She need to go back to letting Chris outshine her because she doesn't speak well. And what she says usually don't make sense. And she kind of mumbles her words so you can only understand every other thing that she says. So yeah, she needs to start letting Chris go back to speaking. And it seems she jumps in when she don't want to look bad, like when um the interviewer asked what was it? She asked, did she feel like reality TV are they worried about reality TV causing problems in their marriage? So that's when she wanted to kind of speak up. So yes, Destiny, mm-mm, you lose them how you get them, baby. Just be glad that he wasn't your husband, like you were cheating with him when he was married. And what Destiny did was way more despicable than what Sonny did. Not to defend Sonny, I'm still a little open about that situation because I don't have all of the facts. So, you know, I'm still just waiting on some more facts to come out. Yes, right, kicking it with Courtney. So, Nell plugged her new clothing line close to the end. And I'm not mad at her. Somebody other than Mel need to show some black excellence on that show because it's looking more like Love and Lockup. So thank you guys for joining me with this video. That's going to be all for this video. I just had to drop a video to break down all the lies that were told in this interview. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching and bye for now. Love and hip hop, laugh out loud. You are right. Love and hip hop. It's something. I mean, I have never seen this many criminals on one show. I mean, it's really ridiculous. Everything that could go wrong on a show went wrong on this show. Like all of the lawsuits, all of the mug shots. Like honestly, I never seen anything like this before in my life. So if they don't end this show soon, like these people are just going to accumulate more debt, more mug shots, and ultimately go broke trying to keep up with this, facade because they're not really showing their real reality. So they're just basically trying to make us think that they're millionaires when honestly they're living off of loans. Thank you, Mama Bees. So again, folks, that's going to be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye now.